Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Flu Talks.
Flu
More
Talk.
health,
Less bullshit. All right.
Today's topic is a very interesting topic. I'm a very fun topic about it because I've been taking testosterone for God knows how many years, and it is definitely something that has done nothing but bring incredible amounts of energy, sleep, a better physique. All of these things come from using testosterone, but the reason why it is that we're talking about testosterone today is we want to go over the myths of what exactly testosterone does to people and how it is that all of the lies and rumors that people have been saying about testosterone for so many years, how it's given it such a bad name and it's tainted. And in the end, it is so helpful to the human body. So the beautiful Fabiana here is going to help us with a couple of these myths.
All right. So I'm gonna just like mention. Oh wait, hello. We have to introduce our guest.
Our guest here is Mr. Ariel. Ariel has been our employee for the past 3 years here at Fluless. Ariel is
Our
pretty
best
much
full-time employee ever.
this is our stepson here at
Our
this
stepson.
point.
I couldn't feel more part of the family.
I do get to claim him on the business taxes, so therefore he is almost like a real stepson. But no, man, Ariel has been a true key player in the success of Fluless. So thank you very much for the person that you are, for everything that you put in.
And I think it's perfect that we're bringing him into this topic because for many reasons, right? So first of all, what has, before we get into the myths of testosterone, specifically for men, what has your experience been? Because I know you both have had experiences with testosterone. So what has been your experience? And then Ariel can talk about his experience with it.
So at the moment, I'm 39 years old. And let me tell you, I'll give my experiences on the later end of life with testosterone. I stay on a maintenance drip, on a maintenance dose of testosterone pretty much all year long. I will take a break maybe for a month or something like that, but I always end up right back on it. And it's not that I'm addicted to it or anything like that. It's just the quality of life that I have while I'm on it.
But isn't there a myth that, because
so we're gonna get into the myths?
No, well, into like my personal, like I guess I've always thought of testosterone, like guys taking testosterone because like they're trying to like get like bulky at the gym or whatever. Like that was always like whenever I heard testosterone, I thought, oh, it's just because like they're working out, you know? Like, but what is that originally why you started taking it way back whenever you started? Because you started many years ago, I think, right?
I started taking testosterone first time that I ever took testosterone, but I mean now I did take it with anabolic steroids. I mean, I was young. I was trying to get big and all of that stuff. So I think I was like 20 years old when I did my first cycle. And then probably from 24 years old this way, we dropped the anabolics because they do damage and stuff like that. And we'll talk about the difference between the both of them. And pretty much from there forward, it's just been testosterone. So
your reason for taking it has transitioned. It sounds like it has changed through the years.
Oh yeah, first time I ever took it, I was a skinny little shit. I was working in nightclubs. The other male bartenders that I was working with, these dudes are like GI Joes, incredibly well physique. And here comes my 5 foot. My
He
license,
says he's 5'7".
My license says I'm 5'7", so we're gonna leave it at that. Right? But here comes this guy.
Guys.
Credentials don't lie. Credentials don't lie.
Hey, listen, my ID says that, and let me tell you, the government, you can't lie to the government. So I'm 5'7", all right?
That's a whole nother topic. Okay, Ariel, so what's been your experience with testosterone?
Well, I would say my experience has been a little bit different. I did start taking it roughly around the same time Danny did too. I started probably around 2021, right as I was already finishing baseball. Once I saw that my career with baseball was already done, I did want to dabble into that. And the same thing, I was always really skinny. You
didn't want to take anything while you were playing baseball?
I wanted to. I'm not going to lie. I definitely wanted to.
How many of your boys were on the sauce?
Oof.
On the sauce.
Not to name any, A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Man, how come you didn't end up getting into it, bro?
Well, I'm not gonna lie,
Weird.
I don't.
You didn't get pissed off that last year your boy
Maybe he was
hitting,
actually good and he didn't need
last
it.
year your boy was hitting, I don't know, bro, 3 or 4 home runs. This year he racks every one of them, or he strikes out. But if it's not a strikeout, it's a home run. I mean, you had to see the difference between your boys from one year to the other. You're un palitroque, and then you turn into a monster.
Of course. I mean, imagine we were all
Palitroque.
basically boys, and then from one season to the other, you see how they become men. They look like 30-year-old men with full beards.
Oh my God.
They have a back like they've been swimming their whole life. It's completely different. It's completely different once you do see it's a difference once you start taking it and you can feel it physically, but it's also a difference when you start seeing it on the person.
I would expect that guys at an early age like that, and tell me if you agree with me, I think guys getting muscles between the ages of like 18 and 24 is the same exact thing of how a girl feels if she were to get breast implants or something like that.
100%. You know what it is? It's confidence.
One for sure.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not trying to stand next to some dude that is shredded, looking like a monster, and I'm over here looking like, I don't know, chewed up dog food.
A toothpick.
All right, so before we get into the myths of testosterone, right? What are the benefits of? What are the real benefits besides?
Before we get into the benefits, why don't we just dive into what exactly testosterone does to the human body so you can understand?
Yeah, that's
and then
what I
we'll
wanna
go
understand, like,
into,
what does
into who
testosterone really do?
testosterone is good for and stuff
Right.
like that. So testosterone is, it's a part of life. It's an essential part of life. So both males and females have the hormone in their body. And what testosterone does, it helps the body with what's called erythropoietin, which is the production of red blood cells. So red blood cells hold on to oxygen. So
Okay.
if you have an excess amount of red blood cells in the human body, you have an excess amount of oxygen capacity. Now, oxygen is life, period. So because you have more oxygen, oxygen is a sedative. It's going to help you fall asleep deeper and better at night. And when you have that excess amount of oxygen, when you do get to fall asleep, you get to be into what's called REM sleep, which is rapid eye movement sleep. That is the deepest sleep that you can go into. And when you're in rapid eye movement sleep, that's when your body releases growth hormones, and that repairs all of the damage that happened to your body. Now, where is testosterone supplementation? Why is it that it's such an incredible thing for the human body? Well, what you're doing is you're making the body create more red blood cells. You're making the body have more energy, period. So when you start taking testosterone, since you have more energy, when you start an exercise regimen, you get to work out harder, longer, faster, and stronger because you have more oxygen capacity. Now you can put in more effort. Now, when you get home, you recover faster from your exercises. Now, that's when the human body starts to grow. If you're eating enough protein, if you're eating enough food, when you get into that deep sleep, that's when your body actually repairs and you grow bigger muscles. So the outcome of having bigger muscles while taking testosterone is because you have more energy, you repair better, and usually you're probably going to start eating better. So just taking testosterone by itself doesn't mean that you're going to end up getting big. You got to end up changing your diet. You have to have the right calories.
But that's if the person is taking it solely for, not solely, but that's if their goal is if they're working
to
out,
change
if they
their
want to
physique.
change their physique, right?
If you want to change your physique and you
but
want to have a
aside-
more muscular body,
Right.
you would have to change the way that you eat. The testosterone on its own, without having any of those
does
physical
not-
attributes,
It doesn't give that
No.
muscular like body or whatever.
Those are what anabolic steroids would do.
Oh,
Anabolic
not
steroids,
testosterone.
and not testosterone. So
Gotcha.
there is a huge difference. So
Okay, so that's like, I think that's I mean that's technically one of the myths. I mean that we just
yeah,
kind of you just kind of debunked it. Pretty
I would
much.
agree, to be honest. I think a lot of the times people see somebody that's, big or maybe even a bodybuilder, and they would just associate that to testosterone. Or
Right.
maybe even steroids, and they would link both words as being one thing.
Right.
I've seen that a lot.
Exactly.
And that is completely not true, because if you really look or even listen to a lot of these bodybuilders, they're taking 2-3 kinds of testosterone on top of different anabolic steroids as well. So it's all what they're trying to gain from the...
yes. I mean,
So
once
if
it
we're-
gets to the point that you're bodybuilding, that guy's a walking science project.
Basically.
All right. He's a pincushion. Is it impressive to see what the human body can do? Absolutely. I mean, to see what these Mr. Olympias look like and stuff like that. But in the end, there are consequences. There are definitely a lot of consequences. The same exact way that there are consequences from taking testosterone. But the way that we offer testosterone to our clients, to our patients, is we just want to maintain it. So we want to bring that testosterone level up where they're optimized, 800, 900, maybe even 1,000, something like that, where the human body is optimized and functioning properly. So how it was when it was 18, 19, 20 years old. Now,
So what happens when a man in, I guess, let's just say past 35? What happens to the man's testosterone level after like 35? Does it remain the same?
no, so
Does it start to go down
it declines.
like on its own?
It declines like everything else in life.
Or it declines?
Everything else in life declines. Now, the declining of testosterone in a male is where you see the lifestyle usually go down as well. So, testosterone, a low testosterone or symptoms of a low testosterone would be a lack of energy, a lack of libido, lack of drive, not being able to sleep at night.
Weight gain, maybe?
Oh, definitely weight gain. And because you don't have the excess amount of energy and all that stuff, it's usually a sedentary lifestyle is what this person is living. Brain fog.
Brain fog too?
Oh yeah. So well, remember, it has a lot to do with oxygen. So if there's not enough oxygen in the brain isn't gonna function properly. They're not gonna be able to focus as much. And then worst one of all, for me, it's the lack of energy and the libido.
Yeah, that's actually one of the myths, that a man's testosterone level remains the same. It's supposed to be the same throughout their entire life, and that it never like declines.
No way. Yeah, right. That'd be incredible. And I mean, and the pharmacies would never have a business either if it was like that. So testosterone levels decline. We can bring them right back up through the use of testosterone itself. And I mean, now these things come in creams, they come in,
in sprays
sublingual little candies, injections. I mean, it comes in a lot of forms. Now, the cool part is, did you know that women can take testosterone?
Women?
Yeah. So the same exact things that males benefit from testosterone, women benefit have the same exact benefits while they're taking testosterone. It's just women, you give it to them in a whole lot lower dosage. Now, what is that?
So there's a myth about women taking testosterone that when women take testosterone, it gives them like that jawline, that it's like that, you know what I mean? Like the super pronounced like jawline, or maybe like hair, like facial hair, or you know what I mean? Or like that physique that is like you turn into like a man.
I think again that goes back
like a man.
to what the person is doing. I'm assuming those people that are taking or that look like that, they're probably taking an exaggerated amount of testosterone.
Yeah,
For a woman, it's supposed to be a very minimal thing. Because sometimes even then they'll produce a smaller amount than what they're supposed to be making already in the body.
So the women that take testosterone, and you get that even more with women that take anabolic steroids, but the women that take testosterone in excess, the ones that have the jawlines and all of that, they have a male physique to go along with it. It's because that's what they're probably trying to get.
Gotcha. So it's not like an automatic thing. Because I do know.
Do you know how
I
many
know girls.
Do you know how many men?
I know women that have taken
Every
testosterone.
woman that has
and they,
said that to me, in the back of my head, I always think the same thing. It's like, yeah, but I'm gonna get a huge back, and then I'm gonna get those big muscles, and I was like, God, I wish it was that easy. I wish it was that. It's like, yeah, but if I inject, no, you have to work out like an animal for that to happen.
Oh, gotcha.
And you have to eat like an animal for a woman's body to be able to change to that point.
So that facial hair, extra facial hair and stuff, that's not true. That's not real.
Now, there are there women out there that it could happen to? Absolutely. In medicine, 2 + 2 doesn't equal 4. Everything that could happen will happen to somebody. But it's not the norm. So, and then on top of it, if you are doing this the right way, if you're doing this being supervised by medical professionals while you're taking it, no medical professional is going to tell some woman to take 200 milligrams of testosterone a week. That makes
there has to be a protocol based on like blood
There's
work.
a protocol for women. The same exact way there's protocol for men. the excess amount of testosterone in a male, once you start taking testosterone, if you don't take it with the right supplements, then your body ends up stopping producing sperm. It could stop producing its own testosterone and stuff like that. But we have pharmacologics that we can add to their regimen to make sure that we keep the human biome functioning properly, meaning that the testicles are still going to produce sperm and they're still going to be viable, so that any guy that is on this program, if he wants to still have kids, they could.
So there's another myth that testosterone.
You don't gotta say there's another myth every time. There's another myth. What about?
Okay, but there is a myth. Wait, I say however I want to say.
Can I take it back to one of the previous myths that we had talked about before?
Yeah, what's up?
Wait, but I have one.
Okay.
Better let him take it back.
No.
Yours is written right there. What were you saying?
Okay, so
Okay,
you
go.
had said that like a specific age group, like that's when it starts to deteriorate. I think from personal experience, you guys know I did my testosterone level, and my testosterone level came back super low. So, and I am 25.
Oh,
so I
you
don't.
mean your blood work?
Yeah, my blood work. When we did my blood work
Yeah,
to see
so
my
I think.
testosterone level.
I mean, do you mind if we tell him what your
Of course not.
Okay, so we took out his blood work. I mean, I was interested to find out. You came to me at work one day and I was like, "Coño, bro, you look like you're dragging ass a little bit and stuff like that." And I asked him the typical questions: how are your sleep patterns? Are you sleeping right? I know you exercise. I know you get enough exercise in to be able to have the physique that you have. But he told me that he wasn't sleeping right. He didn't have enough energy. And I was like, you know what? Let's just do your blood work, bro. Let's see exactly where it is that your testosterone level is, because there is a possibility that his test levels will be low. And sure as we thought, your testosterone level was 137. Which is
What's the range?
we're probably normal testosterone level for a man is probably like in the 400s.
And he was at 130
at
something?
137. That almost, I mean, a little less than he's walking around with a vagina.
I felt like that.
There you go. So we put you on testosterone. We ended up getting his blood work done 3 weeks after he had his testosterone. Now his testosterone level was in the 700s or something like that, if I remember
Oh my
right.
God, I can
Now-
think more clear, sleeping like a baby, waking up with so much energy. And we're not gonna, the whole dragging ass is like, it ties down to everything. Like to how you like act physically and how you think mentally. But for me, what I felt mostly was like thinking mentally. And people know I'm like a really happy, excited person. And I guess that was something that was being reflected a lot when I had
in your mood.
Yes.
Well, I mean, yeah, if you're tired, whenever anybody is tired, right? If you're tired and you had a bad night's sleep, you wake up tired, groggy, you're not in the best mood ever. You're probably gonna be in a crappy mood,
Or you're a
not chirpy.
We're gonna get so much fire from this.
Smack him. I'm gonna smack him. But yeah, it makes sense that like you're not in the best mood or as in the happy mood as you normally would be if you're not even resting well, if you don't even have enough energy, you're just dragging. you know? It makes sense. So there's a myth, and I'm gonna say there's a myth. There's a myth
There's a legend.
that when people take testosterone, they get aggressive.
Well, if you don't know how to control the excess amount of energy that you have, and then once again, I think this myth also turns into, are we talking about testosterone or are we talking about anabolic steroids?
That's probably
Because
the
they're
difference.
always put in the same exact category. Now, could it happen? Absolutely. I'm not going to tell you no. Now, is it the norm? Absolutely not. And especially, once again, not if you're taking it in the healthy maintenance dose. Anybody that takes an excess amount of anything, if I drink 4 Red Bulls, I just might turn aggressive.
Right.
If I drink 1 Red Bull, maybe I'm just a little wired and I can get stuff done.
Yeah.
So same exact thing.
And I think that's a cool part about being able to like check the person's like blood work, like kind of like how you did with Ariel, because then you know where he is and then how much he needs to be within that range. And maybe that's what people, whenever they would take stuff like out in the street, testosterone or the steroids, whatever it was, maybe they were taking a super huge amount because they're not looking at like their blood work, right?
Yeah, so I mean, look at it this way, man. the perfect candidate for a testosterone regimen would be a male between, let's say, 28 years old to 60 years old, works 8 hours a week, has a family,
8 hours a week?
no, 8 hours a day, has a job, has a family, might even be his own business, might have his own business, but a man that needs to have energy, and if he doesn't have energy, he's not gonna have the success that he deserves to have.
So even when this person is resting, they wake up, they're still like dragging, they're still tired. They're just like tired all the time, no energy to even like play with your kids or
Yeah,
that kind of.
that's the perfect candidate for it. Now, if you're a dude that is trying to get shredded, I want to gain 15 pounds, I want to bulk up 20 pounds so that I can be able to knock off 15 pounds and have abs and all of that stuff, it's not the route that you're going to be able to go with us, man. So, I mean, we're not trying to go after that physique. That's not the lifestyle that we're trying to promote here. What we want is people to be healthier, make it easier for them to be able to lose weight, have more focus, have more drive, have better sleep, and ultimately just live a more optimal lifestyle because of the benefits that they get from testosterone when they don't abuse them.
So let's tell them the story of, because you did obviously like.
All right, so here's the story.
With any of our products or services, we always try everything on ourselves because
That's right.
You have to.
You got to get high on your own supply the first
You have
time,
to
man.
consume your own products.
That's how it goes.
When we started doing the testosterone replacement therapy program, Danny was like the very first like guinea pig on all this stuff. He was our lab rat.
We had to make sure that everything was working properly, and I wanted to make sure that I understood the system. So, and sorry to cut you off, but
it's okay. So you stopped taking.
So wait, it's not that. I took my
okay.
blood. I did blood work on myself because I wanted to see where it was that I started at. And I took my blood. I took my blood out the day after I injected myself with testosterone. Before I got onto my own testosterone regimen, I got a guy.
You were getting it elsewhere.
Elsewhere, like the rest of you guys, I got a guy. I got a guy. Everybody's got a guy. Consecutively, I've never had an issue with my guy, and I feel great. So I got my blood work done, and when it came back, my testosterone level was over 1,500.
What's the maximum it's supposed to be at?
Oh no, we just said over 1,500, so
Oh.
it didn't tell me what number it was. The cutoff for the test is 1,500, so it was off the charts. And my estrogen levels were pretty high as well. I think it was like.
So essentially, you were taking way more than you needed.
Not I was taking way more than I needed. The spike of testosterone at that point was over 1,500. So what happens is the body absorbs it, it brings up the level, and then little by little it starts to taper down. The way that I was doing it. Now the way that we're doing it with the protocol that we have, things are different. No, but one way or the other, testosterone level was over 1,500, and my estrogen level was pretty high as well. The human body is always going to try to find equilibrium. It's when I want to make sure that the hormones are in balance. So if the testosterone goes up, naturally the estrogen level is going to rise. So if the estrogen level is high, it's going to be difficult for the human body to use fat as a source of energy because now you're more in a storing mode. Same exact way that when a woman is pregnant, you go into that mode. So when a male's estrogen levels are high, we hold on to fat like women. So we end up getting belly fat. So that's why when I was trying to end up getting my abs back, for some reason, everything was refining itself. I've got more striations in my chest. My shoulders look better and all of that stuff. But the only top 2 abs were the only ones that popped out. The bottom 4, like nobody. You got to work harder. And it's because the estrogen levels were high. So ended up taking some anastrozole. Anastrozole is a estrogen blocker. I took that for a week. When I got my blood work done, I stopped taking testosterone. And when I got my blood work done, my blood work ended up, my testosterone level was down to like 142. But my estrogen level also got knocked down to like 16 or something like that. So now that my blood work is perfect for myself to be able to start my own testosterone program, that's when we were able to start our own program. But the whole reason for us even bringing this up was All right, so being that testosterone brings up your libido, a week after I got off of testosterone, the human body, if you're not supposed to just cold turkey off of testosterone, you're supposed to wean off of it. What happens is my testosterone level dropped to the floor, and with that,
So it went from 1,500 to like
15.
140 something in a matter of
6 days, 7 days.
Oh my
all
God. No
So
wonder.
sex
I wanted
drive,
to kill him.
sex drive went to shit. And this,
Sex drive went to shit.
I was
He
sleeping
was
more.
sleeping a lot, and I was like, "What is going on?" And if anybody knows Danny, you guys know that he's like a friggin'
Firecracker.
yeah, like a little firecracker. He's like the Energizer Bunny. Like he's
Yeah.
like all the time. Like you're always like go 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 go, and
I was
he's
just
like
dragging
sleeping
ass.
more. I kept asking him, "Are you getting sick? Like, do you feel okay?" And he was like, "No, I'm fine." You know, but he was like tired all the time, and then.
With no want for bang bang bang.
And I was like, he didn't want to have sex. I was like, what's going on here?
And of course, the first thing that she starts thinking,
And you know
there's
how us women are.
There's some other woman.
I was like,
for
what is happening?
sure. For sure, he has to be with somebody else.
So then, of course,
I know it.
Ariel, cover your ears. So then, you know, we're like in the bedroom, and I'm like, we're about to take a shower, and I start getting undressed. I'm like, all right, let me just, let me see what happens now. So I started like
just
getting
walked right
undressed
past
in
by
front of
her.
and he just walked past me, and I was like, and I'm here like half naked in the bedroom, and he just like walks past as if I was like, and I was like,
A mannequin.
and that's when I had the realization. I was like, I am cold pizza.
The cold pizza.
I am cold pizza. I am a 3-day-old cold pizza that stayed in the box, and he wants nothing to do with my cold pizza ass.
Straight up, she told me, please go inject yourself with testosterone right now.
That's when it
Go,
dawned on
go
me. I
take
was
the
like,
shot, please.
So
And
this
I
is
was
something
like,
that clearly affects everybody then, not just the man.
I mean,
Well-
but then this animal here decides to like stop taking whatever he was taking from one day to the next. Instead of like tapering off his testosterone tanks, his body was probably going nuts. And I was like, okay, what is happening? And that's when we had the what is happening conversation. What's really happening here? Like, what's going on? And he's like, I think I did this and the testosterone and blah, blah. And he tells me the whole story. And I was like, okay, so when are you getting back in this program and the real program? Let's go make it happen.
how are we doing now?
Doing great.
That's right. That's right.
The
That's
teamwork
right.
makes the dream work. I
That's
love
right.
it.
No, now it's like back to normal. Like he's
I
back
took
to
the
his normal self.
testosterone, and now we gave her the vitamin D.
Oh my God.
That's right. But yeah, so look at it this way. What can we do with the information that why is it that we're telling the story is there's two views here. My point of view of dragging ass, not being able to have all of the energy that I usually have. Sex drive is through the floor. That took a toll. I remember getting home, not having the amount of energy that I wanted to be able to play with the kids and stuff like that. And as crazy as it sounds, it even takes a toll on your personal life because we're usually really playful. We're usually sexual,
Yeah, we
however it is. We
laugh,
laugh, we
we-
play. We have an awesome life, and it kind of for that week to 10 days, I was a different person, and I felt it.
you were.
And even more
No, you
so
definitely
when I got back on testosterone 2 or 3 days later, I was like, it's funny because I would look at her while she's getting naked again, and I was like, oh shit. And I was like, hey, I'm back to normal. So not only is it me that ends up having an issue, women have an issue as well. So I mean,
Well, most definitely. And I think maybe is a little bit controversial, and a lot of women probably don't think of it that way, but whenever you want your spouse to look at you, and then you're not married yet, but when one day when you're going to see, you want your spouse to look at you like a certain way, like with that want, right? And I'm not saying that it is only that testosterone is the only way to do that is with a man taking testosterone. But what I'm saying is this: when we're younger, maybe you meet your spouse when you're a little bit younger and you have more, higher sex drive, then kids come into the picture naturally.
because the testosterone naturally is higher.
Naturally, you're more tired.
Skyrocket.
So then add to the fact that now you have kids, Then add to that testosterone levels are going down. Add to that maybe you're not in the best shape of your life because, you know, you're getting a little bit older, or we're getting already in our 40s. Like, all of that has to do with it. So then add to that, then now your spouse doesn't look at you with that want, or doesn't, like, is not as affectionate, or is not as touching, or whatever. Like, all of that
No, and then
it
on
plays
top
a
of it,
role into what a marriage ends up turning into.
let's
and you
move
don't-
away from the topic of sex. Now let's move away. Let's move into the topic of most women want their man to have drive. They want their man to be motivated to be able to provide for the family, where you can be not only
Yeah.
the protector, that strong male figure, that father figure for their kids. You really, if you don't have the right energy, if you're not resting properly, if you're not exercising, if you don't have your hormones in balance, it's going to be real difficult for you to be able to fill all of those roles and still have enough energy to
and be in a great mood.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean? Or
yeah,
be
and
in
definitely
a
and
mood
have-
where, like, you wanna, not only you're not just there with your family, but, like, you're interacting, you're playing with the kids,
Present,
you're present,
Yeah.
and you're actually there and involved. That's the word I'm looking for. Involved, an involved spouse. And same goes for women. Maybe, you know, it's some women may have a low testosterone level and they don't even know it. And that plays a role. I would expect into, like, the same things that it affects in a man, it would affect in a woman, you know? So I feel like it's important to, like, get that checked out just to see, because who knows? It has, like you said, it has a direct correlation with everything, not only sex life, but, like, family life, mood, energy levels, the amount that you're playing with your kids, maybe even being more or less productive at work. Like, not necessarily they don't necessarily have to own a company, but even if you go to work and now you're dragging ass to go to work every morning,
It
and then how are you?
everything.
How is your productivity level at work? You know, so all of that has a direct correlation to testosterone, and I think that's pretty cool that we kind of brought light to that, because I feel like I definitely did not know anything about testosterone. Like I said, I even thought it was the same thing as taking steroids. So I am glad that we kind of, like, cleared up.
No, and a bunch
that
of dudes
topic.
probably that
Yes,
don't know anything.
so
A bunch of
many.
guys swear that also testosterone is the same exact thing as an anabolic steroid.
Yes.
And it's not. So we veer away from the anabolic steroids. So anabolics bad, testosterone
It's
good.
And then let me ask you this: now that both of you are now in Flulis's, like, testosterone replacement therapy program, how do you feel from having taken steroids before versus having now a protocol that's designed specifically for you? Like, how do you feel any difference? Like, maybe before you were taking a super high level of testosterone that your body really didn't need all of that. Now you're taking the correct amount that's designed specifically for you based on your blood work.
I would say, honestly, what gives me the most sign of relief is the fact that I know exactly where this is coming from. The fact that we're working with a doctor, the fact that we're doing our blood work. Because the times I did do it before, I never really did a blood work.
The
and
fact that it's coming from a real pharmacy.
yes. You know, it's the truth. A lot of the times, most people that are taking this stuff, they're not doing blood works. They're not getting their health checked before or after to see if this is something they realistically need. And I feel like that's probably one of the most important things to do.
So it's make sure that your system is ready to,
Yes.
to be able to successfully get on a testosterone protocol. That's why it is that we check liver functions, kidney functions, we check hydration status, we check all of the core measurements of what is going on with your body and is it functioning properly, and then we look at your testosterone and your estrogen levels to make sure, are we able to optimize this? I mean, some guys, the testosterone levels are going to be right on point. They're not going to need it. Even though they say that they want it, it's understandable. But if we're doing this the right way, if your testosterone level is where it's supposed to be, then you're one of the lucky ones that are pushing your body to a limit where it's going to create its own high testosterone level. You can push the human body to make testosterone. So look at it this way.
But can you push it to a level where you don't need to take additional testosterone?
If I would say if you
Because I feel like that, it sounds like it would be very difficult to do that.
if you're an athlete,
Because let's say that
if
like
you're an athlete, you can do that. So
Well, an
what
athlete,
would happen is, remember, so the human body is the perfect machine. This is pretty cool. So being that the human body is a perfect machine, it is going to supplement itself with what it needs to be able to get the task done. So let's just say from one day to the next, we work at Flawless. We don't work very, very hard. Now, if I didn't go to the gym, if I didn't exercise, and one day to the next, I were to start a construction job where I have to move cinder blocks all day long, naturally, my testosterone level in about a week or two is going to end up going up. And the reason why is the human body realizes that it's going to end up needing more energy and it's going to make more testosterone to be able to keep up with the excess necessity of that energy. But the same thing also happens for a sedentary lifestyle. Yeah. So the people that don't exercise, the people that are always sitting down, the people that aren't pushing their body, why would the human body make energy that you're not going to use? So those testosterone levels are low. So what happens?
And they stay low.
The sedentary lifestyle is the hardest one to get back on track because science is against you. You don't have the right hormones to be able to give you the energy, to be able to give you the drive to get your ass up off of that couch, to have a better lifestyle and optimize yourself. So
the body doesn't produce it because the body says, well, you're not walking, you're not running, you're not exercising. So why am I gonna? You don't need it, so I'm not gonna make extra additional testosterone.
Exactly. This is the perfect machine. This is the perfect machine. Now, you can only push the human body to a certain level where it's gonna make an excess amount of testosterone. But if you're a working man and you don't have 6 hours a day to break down into 2-hour workout regimens for 3 times a day, you're not going to be able to have your body naturally raise the testosterone levels. Now, are there testosterone boosters out there? Yeah. Do I think they work? I've never tried them.
Well, it sounds like
I don't waste my time.
It sounds like it would be. I mean, both of you were in when you did your blood work, you were in the 140s and you were in the 130s, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like to get from there to the 400s, which is where the range starts. That sounds like it would be really difficult to do like naturally, I would think.
Yeah. So that's why we supplement.
Right. All right. So this was pretty cool. I like this conversation. It was very interesting.
So
now I want to do my blood work so I can see where my testosterone level is.
One day we'll have a testosterone program for females because it's so beneficial as well.
We can test it on me.
Hey, there you go.
See what happens. Any other myths that you can think of? I think we covered a good chunk of them.
Yeah, I think we covered a lot of them, honestly, to not say all of them.
So,
all right. So if you guys have any other questions regarding testosterone as you watch our YouTube or listen on Spotify, comment, let us know. If you have any other questions, you can send us a DM on Instagram and we'll be more than happy to answer like any questions that you guys have.
And if you're a male and this caught your attention and you want to start a testosterone program, we'd be more than happy to help you guys out. We get a little blood sample from you, send it to the lab, and we'll tell you where it is that we're starting. If you're a female and it triggered you that your man can't keep up with the sex drive and needs a kick in the ass to be able to be the man that you know that he could be, send them our way. It's that simple. I mean, we can fix a lot of problems just looking at blood work, and we can tell what it is that is going on with the human body. So thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Flute Talks. More health, less bullshit.